Hello. In this video, we will explore how to make training more effective through a planned and systemic process of learning. Hence, in this video on training and development, we shall focus on the learning objectives. First of all, we'll look at the purpose of training need analysis along with understanding the various steps involved in training. We will also try to differentiate between proactive and reactive need analysis approaches. Let us start with a small case. In an automobile industry, it was observed that there is dip in sales figures for past few months. On further analysis, it is observed that there has been significant increase in the number of customer complaints. Further investigation, it was observed that in a particular unit of the automobile industry, a lot of manpower was redeployed from another unit in past few months. During the redeployment, the people were not provided any sort of training, rather than they were assigned teams in which they started working. And the prior experience of these redeployed employees was in similar area, but the technology they used were quite different from the technology that was used while assembling these car units. Hence, we have a problem where the solution is obviously to provide training, and because the solution was not provided in the beginning of the case, definitely the automobile industry lost money as well as its branding because of large number of customer complaints. Now, once it's clear that we need to provide training to the employees in the organization, there are 5 W's and 1 H to be answered. The 5 W's in this issue are: why we need to give training, who are the people whom we need to train, what should be trained, that is what should be content of training, when should we organize the training programs, and why should we organize the training programs, and of the most important thing, how should we go about answering these 5 W's. And this answer is very important to ensure transfer of training and effectiveness of the whole program and cost invested in training, that is return on investment. Now, to ensure transfer of training, an organization carries out 4 steps of training and development. The first step is need analysis, which is a process of gap analysis between expected performance or behavior and actual performance or behavior of an employee. In this process, the organization identifies the specific knowledge, skill and attitude required by an employee to carry out the particular task or particular job. Based on this, we move to the second step, which is referred to as design, where we formulate the specific measurable objectives based on the gap analysis. Then, based on the objectives, we identify the activities, exercises, the training methods that are to be used to impart training, and based on these informations, we calculate or formulate the budget of the particular training program. In the third step, we actually implement or conduct the training. The conducting of training can be within the organization, referred to as internal training, or outside the organization, referred to as external training program. Again, these training programs can be by method or build method. In build method, the organization itself imparts training through its L&D division, Learning and Development Division, or Training and Development Division, whereas in by approach, the organization outsources its training activity to other consultancies or training and development outsourcing organizations. Finally, we have this most neglected step referred to as evaluation. The basic objective of this step is to assess the training imparted to the trainees. But it has been a very sorry state for last many years. Hardly
Uh, Few organizations carry out the evaluation in a detailed process. Moreover, it has been also observed that training is effective only when the evaluation is carried out in each and every step of reaction, learning, behavior as well as result, which we will be discussing in our next video. And another issue raises here is effectiveness of the training program. As was reported in my previous video, that most of the employees found that effectiveness of training programs is very low. Now the question raises for training and development department in the organization that how should they improve the effectiveness of training program. For this purpose, we can categorize the training activity into three main divisions, that is prior to training, during training and post training. In prior to training, we need to focus on the inputs of the training program, such as what knowledge, skills and attitudes are to be improved for a particular person to carry out his or her performance in the most expected way. Secondly, we need to focus on adult learning. Adult learning focuses on the principles that a person needs to be told clearly what is the advantage of investing time, energy in training process, what will be the outcomes and what benefits the particular trainee will get after attending the training program. Finally, we need to encourage the training programs. Often people who are selected for training program do not carry a very positive attitude about the training process. They feel that probably they are low performers, that is the reason why they have been picked for training. But this is not so. In an organization, training is a very continuous process where it helps employees to continuously develop their abilities and also improve or go higher in their career achievements. Second comes the category of what we can do during the training process. Now, to make a training process or conducting training programs successful, it's very important that the tools, techniques, methods we use, exercises and activities we select should resemble an actual working condition. That means we should make the best way of providing a simulation to the trainee as he or she feels at the workplace. The more nearer the conditions are, the better will be the learning process, because the trainee will be able to correlate very well with the particular situation or the circumstances or the machine. Once a trainee returns to the workplace after the training, starts post-training stage or post-training category, where the individual needs to be reinforced by the organization by appraising or rewarding mechanisms. Many of the organizations pay incentives to its employees. This helps them to stay motivated towards the training program and executing their learning at the workplace.
Training need assessment is a systematic method for determining the causes of performance gap. This performance gap can be identified by comparing the expected organization performance and actual performance delivered by an employee during the work process. This data is compiled from an investigation into organization data analysis, operational data analysis, and person analysis. This resembles the collection of data and its investigation in all the three levels of an organization, that is the individual level, group level, as well as the organization level. The information collected
through this analysis helps us to identify the knowledge, skills and attitudes that can be imparted through the training process for increasing the or improving the performance of a trainee. And these training issues can be identified as we see in this particular diagram, that the training issues fall in this fourth coordinate, where the job knowledge of a person is low but has a high motivation to perform. Rest three coordinates are addressed through other issues which were taken up in the previous video. And these other issues are mainly because of performance incongruence. That means the performance individual is performing is not aligned to the particular good performance and the organization's goal. This may be due to inadequate feedback or poor communication mechanism, poor clarity to the employee of his job, and also results because of barriers in the particular system or the process of functioning of the organization. These type of issues are also referred to as non-training issues. In the three-level analysis of organization, operation as well as person analysis, we use these 4 steps of Donald Ford model. In these 4 steps, first we carry out collection of vital information at the organization level through the process called surveillance. In our example, the figures of falling sales of the particular automobile it was an example of surveillance. This is followed by investigation. As in the case, our further investigation led us to find out data available on customer grievances. With further quantitative and qualitative analysis of the grievance data, we could find that the issue is about redeployed employees in a particular unit, and then an action could be taken by designing the training and development of these peoples in the organization. Now, during the organization analysis, our basic focus is on carrying out an analysis of the organization strategy. For example, an organization is going for change or updating its technology. Then prior to bringing up new equipment or using new technology, the employees should be properly trained. Further, the goals and objectives of the organization should be made very clear to its employees. The systems and practices, as well as in our example, we could see that there was no practice of providing training program to employees who are redeployed in a different unit, whereas a proactive organization should always take care of providing training at the right time, which otherwise may lead to great loss for the company. Next, we have this customer satisfaction data. So the complaint or grievances which we collected was a reactive method of collecting data. But if prior to it, the organization could itself take initiative of regularly collecting customer satisfaction data, this would indicate how the customers are giving value to the particular organization, its products and services. Then we have human resource information system, which definitely the matrices captured through human resource information system greatly talk about person and operation analysis. Also about labor inventory, the availability of workforce, the demand and supply of workforce, the people eligible for promotion, transfer, and the succession planning data tells prior about the importance of designing or the need of designing training and development program.
Organization Climate Index is also being used by many proactive organizations where information on employee satisfaction, their employee engagement helps organizations to time and again design training programs to build the morale and motivation of employee. It also helps to identify the problem areas in an organization. Next, we look at operation analysis. Operation analysis is carried out mainly through job design process, which is mainly looking at the job description and job specification in an organization by comparing the performance with the job designation description, and we can actually find out the gap in an in a particular group or a particular team. Similarly, we have competency modeling. In competency modeling, we actually make a comparative model of the competency which is required by a person to or a group to possess to carry out a particular work, and the competency that is with the employees of the organization. So this also helps us to get the gap exactly. Again, there is another method, skill matrix method, which can be applied to the example that we took up in automobile. As in the final stage, we could find out the unit where teams were made of, or formed, among which the members were from the redeployed employee category. So if we here in this case we prepare a chart like this where team members are named here as person 1, 2, 3, and the skills possessed by them are identified, followed by identifying the skill possessed by a particular person. In this way, we can prepare this skill matrix and we can compare it with the competency model or the job descriptions, which talks about the skill requirement of an employee to carry out the work properly. So when we compare these two skill areas, we can identify the employees who are lacking a particular skill area and they can be trained. So we can clearly identify the knowledge, skill, attitude part through this process. The third one is person analysis. In person analysis, we are more focused on the particular person per se in terms of identifying his or her KSAs or competencies, which can be carried out with the help of work sample or through performance appraisal method. So once we carry out these training need analysis and these three levels, we can very clearly answer these three issues, that where training is lacking, what type of content is to be built in terms of knowledge, skill and attitude, and who is to be trained or who are going to be the trainees in the organization. So based on this data, because see, if we are very clear who are the people need to be trained based on their demographic profile, if they belong to a senior age group of people, then our training selection of training methods or tools or techniques could be different from if we are providing training to a very younger age group. So therefore these information are very critical in defining or designing a training program, and are definitely reflected on their transfer of training as well as effectiveness of training program. Further, while collecting this data, we can use both the primary and secondary sources such as the records, observation, interviews, and surveys. Also self-assessment, especially in case of performance appraisal in middle and higher level executives. Self-appraisal is one of the way, and this also helps an individual to plan his or her career development opportunity also. Now let us look at different approaches to training need assessment in organizations, and we also parallelly see are these approaches applicable to small businesses as well. So in this we find that approaches
mainly reactive. The example we took up of automobile industry is a clear example of a reactive approach where the organization takes up the training process after it identifies problem in the sales process, and hence such organizations react to a particular circumstance, and based on the demand of the circumstance they design training program. Whereas many Fortune 500 companies and global leaders, marketing leaders are all proactive companies. These companies do not wait for something to happen and move to or design retraining process. Rather than they as a natural and continuous process keep collecting data through various mechanisms in their organizations, so that training is regularly given to people to boost up their morale, to motivate them, to reduce the skill gap, to prepare them for the higher positions, to build up their potentials, and to pull them towards the better achievement target in the organization. This can be carried out through various procedures like statistical process control, quality control, human resource information system. HR analytics is again a very updated method by which the organizations regularly captures data of employees and tries to find out the relationship between the various data points, so that it can identify a problem in the beginning and try to address it through the appropriate training program. Similarly, HR audit also is a very useful tool to identify gap between the organization strategy, the competencies of the people, so that it adds value to the organization through training and development. Now, as you can look at the picture, we talk about maintaining a complaint list. This is something which the automobile industry could do as a proactive step. That means customer purchases an automobile, immediately calls should be made to find out issues with the car, instead of waiting for so many months to and look at the fall in purchase of car. Rather than that, the organization could have in the beginning itself identified the complaints, and prior to it I would suggest the organization should have built in this practice of providing training program whenever we shift the location of people, redeploy them, promote them, job rotation, or any such change we make in their job nature, job characteristics. We should provide them prior training which increases their efficiency and reduces errors or defects in the particular organization. And this is very helpful tool also to prepare people for promotions, transfers, or any change in the particular job. So now let us focus, can this be useful for small businesses? Yes, it can be useful in small business also, where the people can actually identify the skill requirement and accordingly train the people through various skill development programs before hiring them or before promoting them, so that the organization is in a developmental path from the employee side as well. With this, we complete this video. I hope you enjoyed the learning process, and in our next video we shall continue with the training methods and evaluation process. Thank you.